All right, so now that you guys saw this game like fucking gone fast, now I'm gonna slow crank back on the throttle, and I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna show you guys everything, do detailed explanations, conspiracies, facts, talk about what the story could have been. Densho Cast, welcome to the stream, dude. Hopefully you're having a good night. We were doing some speedruns of this game. But I'm actually going to throttle it back, and I'm going to do a 100% detailed run. So that means I'm going to really just dive into this game. I'm going to show you all the Easter eggs, cool moments, talk about what the story could have been. So definitely stick around, dude. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I whipped through the game in about, I don't know, I'd say about 15 minutes. Whipped through the whole game in 15 minutes, but now I'm going to slow back, and I'm going to do all the Easter eggs. All jump scares, Lisa spawn locations, everything. Every single Easter egg and hidden thing in this game. So, alright. But yeah, welcome to the stream, dude. Feel free to drop a follow. Especially if you like the content, if you like watching this game, if you like watch a lot of other games. A whole bunch of stuff is in the description if you want to check that out. I won't bore you, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask, dude. Alright, so we'll start off quick. First loop. Very first loop of the game here. Alright, Soviet. I'll let you know. I'm actually going to be triggering them. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go to the radio. I'm going to let this whole radio broadcast play out.
Retrieved the rifle and shot his wife as she was cleaning up the kitchen after lunch. When his 10-year-old son...
Oh yeah, dude, Soviet, I'll keep this for the rest of my PlayStation 4's life. Don't you worry about that, dude.
His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom, but reports suggest he lured her out by telling her it was just a game. The girl was found shot once in the chest from point-blank range. The mother, who he shot in the stomach, was pregnant.
This next part coming up in this radio broadcast is very important. Or maybe it's a different one. We'll keep listening.
Listening to the radio. Several days before the murders, neighbors say they heard the father repeating a sequence of numbers in a loud voice. They said it was like he was chanting some strange spell. There was another family shot to death in the same state last month, and in December last year, a man used a rifle and meat cleaver to murder his entire family. In each case, the perpetrators were fathers.
So, like this,
police say this string of domestic homicides
this is kind of
unrelated, though it could be part of a larger trend such as employment.
I'll go into this once the radio broadcast is done.
Other social issues facing the average family.
All right. So, pretty much the radio broadcast. This is, like I said, this is a pretty detailed run. So if you guys have any questions or if you have any theories yourself, feel free to shoot them out there at me, because half of this is my opinion, half of this is like fact. I'm just trying to blend and make a coherent what could have been story out of this. So the radio broadcasts pretty much are detailing random murders that are occurring. You know, I'm not sure if it's throughout a state or if it's throughout the whole United States or anything like that. Wish this was made, could have revived the horror genre of triple games. Yeah, dude, Densho Cast, I 110% agree, dude. However, I do believe that Kojima and Del Toro will come back and they will give us that AAA horror game that we need to really propel the genre, like, right into the mainstream. Especially with VR coming out, it's going to add, like, a whole new layer of everything. But, and the connecting factor is that they're all fathers. They all seem to have become, like, mentally unstable for a while. And they end up killing their families and then themselves. That is the link here that we're getting. All right. I'm going to loop through here to the next loop here. VR MGS, that'd be amazing. All right. And like this is the hallway, and there is out of the radio broadcast talked about 3 different murders that happened. This one, we can tell, is the one where he shot his wife in the stomach. And it's like, how do you know that this is the house where that murder occurred and not like the other ones? Because there was the other one where he killed his daughter with a gardening hose. Then there was one who killed his family with a meat cleaver. It's like, how do you know that this is the house where the mother was shot through the stomach? That is because later on, you see the fetus in the sink, and you know that, and there's actually dialogue that coincides with the fact that that was like an unborn child. So you know that this is the father that committed that. Now, the lady that is that haunts you throughout this game, who appears and can kill you and has jump scares, her name is Lisa. And the reason that we know that is because there's puzzle pieces of her picture before she became the way that she looks now, and it says her name Lisa on there. That's her portrait, and it's hung up in the wall. Also, once you advance at some point in the game, you hear, Lisa is actually the victim. Lisa is the one who her husband went crazy, shot her through the stomach, and killed her unborn child. So, and you know that also because at one point in the game, above the door that you use to loop through, you see writing, and it says, "Forgive me, Lisa, there's a monster inside of me." So it's the husband saying, "Forgive me, Lisa." As to why Lisa would be trying to kill whoever the player character is, Norman Reedus, there really is no connection yet, because you'd wonder why like she'd be trying to kill people, because you're not the husband, you didn't do anything, and like we don't know who the character was in the grand scheme of things, so that's kind of unquestioned either. Also, I don't know why the puzzle pieces, other than like the fact that they're red herring, the puzzle pieces are not necessary to completing the game, which is weird. Okay. And you can tell there's like a lot of different things that you can pick up on in this game. One of them is like, if you look down here, you can see a shitload of like beer cans and bottles. So you can start to see already, just by the layout of the house, you can see that the father was probably like an alcoholic leading up to the crimes, because like why would there be a bunch of bottles and stuff? This portrait that's ripped apart, that's actually Lisa. And when you zoom into it, it says, "My voice, can you hear it?" Let me go back. I don't think, it won't play now. But yeah, you can see the beer bottles. Let me go back here. You can look at like all of this shit. Like you can see pills on the floor. You can see more cans, teddy bear. The counter is completely messed up. There's candy, there's pills, there's a picture of the father, the phone's off the hook. There's more photos, a smashed, cracked picture frame. So you can tell that already things were kind of deteriorating in this house leading up to the crime, because things are just, there's like a rotten banana peel, there's bugs. So we don't, like the fact that there's bugs and everything's kind of abandoned, makes you wonder like how long after the murder did this whole section take place. Also, the door barges. To advance this puzzle, you pretty much like, a lot of people were stumped at this puzzle because you couldn't open the door. The solution is you actually have to backtrack back, walk to about the light. It's like a little bit before, but it's not that much before. You walk back to the light, walk back, and then the door's open. And you don't hear any sounds. Like, there's absolutely no sound cue. But you go back and the door's completely open. So. But yeah, there's a lot of clues like in the house, like all of the bottles and smashed up pictures and stuff like that. Right above here is where the message is going to be a little bit later into the game. Densho Cast, they actually never confirmed whether or not this game was going to even be canon or play into the bigger story. However, because it does say that it has like no affiliation with the main game. However, when you go into the bathroom, you can see that it's still the Norman Reedus character model, and we did know that in the full game you were going to be playing as the Norman Reedus-esque character. So it's safe to assume that maybe this would have to have taken place in the same world. The game's story probably would have been based off of these crimes, off of this whole area. I doubt that Lisa would have had a part, and I doubt like this particular house would have had any part in it. But I do think that it would have taken place in the same universe and had the same kind of like mythos. But yeah. Also, up until the last puzzle, the clock stays on 11:59 permanently. So it's right before midnight up until the last puzzle. This one, I'm not sure if you loop or if the door closes on you. No, you just loop again. It's the next loop where the door closes, the bathroom door creaks open, bugs come out, and you have to actually zoom in to look. You know what? I think I did miss an Easter egg. Because the solution to one of the puzzles, this right here, because there's absolutely like no information on how the controls are. So you go here, the door's locked, and that door's open. And you're like, well, okay. You can hear a baby crying, and you can look in here all day, and nothing will happen. Like, I remember being stumped, and it might be not have missed it. So I'm gonna actually go back. You can hear the baby laugh. I may have missed it though, so I can't see it. And my TV's not that bright. I just picked up one of the puzzle pieces, by the way. Every time you pick up a puzzle piece, it says those words in a different language. Yeah, I did miss it. Earlier on in the game, there's a picture that's off the wall, and if you look at it, it says R3 on it. And that is pretty much telling you that once you click in the R3 button, you could do a zoom in. And that is actually essential to advancing this, because you have to look in this door, and it doesn't do anything, but once you press R3, Lisa will appear in the bathroom. So I'm going to press R3, Lisa shows up, closes the door, then that puzzle's solved and the door opens by itself. So yeah. And if you didn't pay attention to the picture on the ground, once you looped, like, you'd be stuck unless you mess with all the controls and figure out that there's that zoom option. Now this part here, I turned the corner too fast when I was speedrunning, so you actually didn't get to see it. But you actually get to see Lisa standing in the hallway. If you go, you can hear her breathing. But if you look real quick, you can see her right there. You can see Lisa standing right in the hallway there. For a lot of people when they play this game, they get really intimidated. Just, yeah. Well, I'm scared. Yeah, that part right there is usually where people get intimidated. But it's funny because it's actually this room, this area right here, even though it's the most scary and intimidating, you're the safest from jump scares at this room, at this loop, than any other part in the entire game, which is really funny. Yeah, so, even though it's the most scary appealing, you're the most safe from jump scares at this room than any, because she literally can't jump scare you because she's right here, and then she disappears, and it sets you up to make you think like something's going to happen, but like you walk towards her, lights go off, and you're like, shit, something's gonna happen, but nothing ever does. You walk forward, the lights turn back on, the bugs appear on the walls, and you pretty much advance. And that's it. Nothing to be afraid of. And this is where you get the flashlight. Once Kojima logic... Yeah, really, Kojima logic really did infest this trailer. Once you get the flashlight, it's pretty much like anything goes. That's like when the game spikes up in scariness, because once you get the flashlight, you can pretty much be jump scare attacked at any time if you take too long to solve puzzles. If you know the puzzles and you can whip through them quick, you'll be able to avoid every jump scare in this game. But like, the game pretty much like stops holding back once you get the flashlight. And you can be stuck in this bathroom for a long fucking time if you don't know what to do. After I advance and do the press X on the picture thing, I'm going... Well, I guess I'll actually activate one of the jump scares because this is a 100%, like I'm trying to do a detailed playthrough. That hole in the wall actually comes into play later. That's actually the same hole in the wall that once you get to like the fast moving room, you look into the bathroom from there. So, once you're in the bathroom, you can't get out, and there's nothing to do. You can look around and pretty much do anything, but you can't advance anything unless you look at the baby. Once you look at the sink, and see the baby in the sink, it'll trigger a cutscene where someone will try to break into the bathroom. So you have to zoom into the baby. Then you do that, and then it triggers where someone tries to open up the door right here. So nobody ever comes in. And then you think it'd be done because the baby's laughing and nobody's broken into the door. However, to get the door to open, you actually have to look in the mirror and try to look directly at your face. No, yeah, dude, Soviet, that's you're 110% right. That is Lisa's baby, and that's confirmed in dialogue after the fast room. Once I get to the fast room, you go visit the baby again, and he actually speaks in English. He talks, and he pretty much confirms that he's Lisa's baby. So yes, that's the unborn child of Lisa, and that's probably, like, that's why a lot of people theorize that, Lisa is, like, an undead ghost, is because, like, she wants to haunt people because she lost, like, her child, you know, and her own life. But yeah. So, to get the door to open, you have to try to look at yourself in the mirror. Try to look at your face in the mirror, and there's scratches along the mirror because they unintentionally didn't want you to see that this was the Norman Reedus character model. However, there is a point in which the scratches are less present in the room, and you can actually see the character model face a lot better. It's pretty much impossible. You cannot see the character's face hardly at all. But there is a part in the game where you can see it a little bit better in the reflections. Alright. Soviet, once I loop through here, this is going to be where the jump scare is. So you might want to turn down the volume or be ready for it. And like I said, it's kind of random. Like, you walk here, and you're, okay, I take that back. It's the room after this one. It's this room right here, dude. Because the door's closed, and you're supposed to do the puzzle where you look at the picture frame, and the picture frame actually has words written on it that says press X to gouge the eye out. And you can see that right here. It says press X to gouge the eye out. So you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to gouge out the eyeball, and once you hit X while looking at the picture frame, Lisa's eye will actually melt out and the door will open. Now, to trigger the jump scare, because I'm actually trying to trigger the jump scare, you pretty much just stand still, wait for time to pass, because it's supposed to give you a little bit of time to try to figure out the puzzle before you get fucked over. Then you're going to hear, like, the radio message start to talk directly to you. It's going to be like, don't turn around, don't do that. Like, it already said, like, don't trust the tap water. And it starts saying 204863. He's going to say, don't turn around, and then I'm going to start spinning around, which will pretty much almost guarantee to trigger the jump scare. It's only, or it says look behind you. It's not 100%, but it is pretty much good guarantee. Like, you just turn around, and it triggers the jump scare right there. And Lisa kills you, eats you, and it resets the game. However, dying by Lisa and resetting the game also triggers an exclusive dialogue with this weird paper bag that you can only get if you die. So yeah. Okay. So now that I'm dead, it starts you back off in this room. However, if you notice, the cockroach from the beginning is gone. So it's kind of like a cue that things aren't the same. And in this part only, after you've died, there's this dialogue with this paper bag that you can only get here. If you tried at the beginning of the game, the paper bag's not there. Not as good as Dude, I think this game's way scarier than Five Nights at Freddy's.
I walked. I could do nothing but walk.
And it's very interesting because this dialogue that the paper bag is, like, saying right now is the same dialogue that you get at the very beginning of the game. As soon as you start the game for the first time, it gives you this dialogue, not spoken, but just in text format. People speculate that it's actually the dead fetus inside that bag. The reason why people believe that is not only because it just looks bloody and looks like something's in there. When you trigger the dialogue with the baby, the voice actually sounds similar to that. Not the same, but similar. So here we go. We're gonna go through here. I'm gonna complete the puzzle this time. Well, Sophie, you have to also keep in mind, like, I warned you that there's gonna be a jump scare. There's a couple more at the end here. Like, if you're not expecting it, it scares the complete shit out of people. This time I'll trigger the puzzle, hit X, her eye melts out, and you continue. And this is where you see it. You can see it says, "Forgive me, Lisa, there's a monster inside of me." So you're speculating that that's the husband, knowing that something's up. People don't know what, though. I'm gonna loop through again, and then I'm gonna start collecting the puzzle pieces, because the puzzle pieces are important. This is here. Something's gonna fall here. Boom. A window falls, and if you look up, you can actually see Lisa standing above the balcony. You can see her right there. Boom. And if you watch her long enough, she actually disappears into the shadows. And once she disappears into the shadows, at any point she can jump scare kill you. So she leaves. And a lot of people don't even notice that. Like, they see the window fall and they get scared and loop around. They don't even know that she's there. So. Plus, this game is really cool with the headset on because the sounds and ambience is like way more like amplified. Alright. This is a refrigerator with pretty much... they're assuming that there's a child in there. You can hear the same exact radio broadcast. However, this is a cool Easter egg because you hear the radio broadcast, but then a couple seconds later, you can hear an echo of a deeper voice start to like speak some of these words. And it's weird because if you listen, in the radio broadcast, it says that the husband killed himself by hanging himself with a gardening hose. However, when the deep voice echoes that, he says that the father hung himself with an umbilical cord. So that's the only instance where the deep voice contradicts what the radio is saying. So that also could have played at some point in the story. Depending on like the whole like child thing and all this stuff like that. So yeah. Yes, she can, but I'm not gonna let it. I'm gonna advance before she does. I'm gonna collect the puzzle pieces now. I already have one of the puzzle pieces, and as you get them, as you get the puzzle pieces, they'll start to appear here, and you can see you can see what Lisa looked like before she became that ghost slowly but surely. One was right there. Another one is by the plant right there. Oh, I didn't pick it up. Maybe I already picked this one up. Did I already pick this one up? Okay, I guess I already picked that one up. There's another one by the teddy bear. There we go. Got the second puzzle piece. There's another one in the corner. Baby's flipping out. There's another one in the corner. And this puzzle, this next puzzle right here, you can keep looping over and over again. Like, you can keep looping over and over again and you'll be in the same room. You'll never advance. This is going to get really hard in this game. You can continue to go through the door over and over again and you'll never make any progress. And you're like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You'll eventually loop until Lisa kills you and you start over again and get right back to this part and never advance. So, what's the secret here? The secret to this puzzle is right here. It's this writing. It says, I can hear them calling to me from blank. And you're like, okay. Then, you go over by the phone, and it says hello by the phone. So, pretty much the puzzle is you get the words from over there to the wall, so it says, I can hear them calling me from hell. And to do that, you look at the words, look away, and look back. And each of the letters will start to go away. So there's that. Look away, look back, then it's just the L. Look away, look back one more time, and all the letters that you need are now gone. Now it's here. You hear a laugh, a door unlock, and you've completed that puzzle, and you can now advance. Yeah, if you don't do that though, if you don't look away and get the letters over to the other screen, you'll never advance. So. You can hear a lot of radio broadcasts in a different language at this point in the game. Another puzzle piece is right here down by the stairs, right there. You zoom in on it and get that last one here. There actually, I think there's one more. However, I can't get this last puzzle piece because this is the fast room. Actually, I will get one more puzzle piece. This other puzzle piece is like, it took people forever to figure out what this one is. They looked around everywhere, tried to figure it out where it is. The secret to the last puzzle piece in the game is pretty much you pause it, and you have to actually do the zoom in look at the pause menu. It'll zoom in on the brain, and you can see one of the puzzle pieces is right there in the brain, and you get it that way. And that's completely nuts. I guess looking at Lisa up there won't matter at the rate you're going. Yeah, no. I'm fine. That's why I keep pausing it, because time doesn't advance when you pause. This is the fast room. Lisa cannot get you in the fast room. It's at midnight. The clock's at midnight. This is the first time in the game where the clock starts at midnight. Also, all of the pictures have been replaced with spinning eyeballs, and you move about double speed. So at this point, and everything's kind of like has this weird blur to it. So also, so this room is also just like the other game. You can continue to run through this room forever. You can run through this room for literally ever, and you'll never advance. It'll always be the same thing over and over, and you'll never make any progress. And people are like, well, what's the secret to complete this room? It's actually kind of ingenious. All of the pictures are replaced with moving images, and you're like, well, she can get you at midnight, but not in this room. This is what people refer to as the double speed room. She cannot get you in the double speed room. Like, I could stand here all day and she'll never get you and you'll never advance. So people are like, well, what are you supposed to do? And the secret is they put an emphasis on the pictures because you're supposed to pay attention to the pictures. And you're running around and you look for where a picture has fallen off the wall. And just keep running until you see a picture on that's fallen down. I don't think it's there. No. It's hard to see. My TV's so dark right now. I can see it better on stream. There. You see a picture on the floor that was originally hung up on the wall. So you look up, and you see this really small dark hole on the wall. So you're like, oh, well, okay. So you go, zoom in, and that's pretty much the secret to the puzzle. You zoom in here, it triggers the cutscene of the father killing. It's just audio. There's no visual. It's the husband killing the mother late at night. And it'll auto zoom out, and then you can advance.